The Burning Crusade is just around the corner on anniversary servers, and in today's video we're going to cover the top things you can do now so that when the Dark Portal opens, you can go into Outland and shout out to Illidan, "I am prepared!" But as always, before we start, I just want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. Thank you so much for your support. The pre-patch investment guide video is out now, so be sure to check it out in the members section so you can get some nice profit. But yeah, I love you guys, thank you so much. Now the number one thing on the list, and your biggest priority to be honest, is gold. Now I got some slack in my last video for recommending you to have 20,000 gold, and I feel like I should explain this further so you fully understand. You see, this is from a mage point of view. Some classes are of course more expensive than others, but it's a good idea to go in with a good buffer so you can cover everything you need. But yeah, let's break down exactly why 20,000 gold is a good idea. So the first thing you'll want at level 70 is of course a flying mount. It's impossible to go on without it, since many parts of TBC require a flying mount to progress, and this includes your raid achievements, so in fact without a flying mount you cannot raid at all. The basic flying mount costs 900 gold, this is 800 gold for the training and 100 gold for the mount. However, the basic flying mount is incredibly slow, capped at 60% speed. With ground mounts being 100% speed, this feels like an immediate downgrade in comparison. Therefore, the best option is having an epic flying mount, which costs a total of 6,000 gold. This is 5,000 gold for the training and 1,000 gold for the mount. But at 280% speed, this is almost 5 times as fast as the basic flying, so you can see why we would really want it. Even if you're going straight for epic flying, you still need to buy the basic flying before you can unlock epic flying, meaning your total cost to have epic flying and a mount is 6,800 gold. This is before any reputation discount. So yeah, 6,800 gold for flying. Then we also need to think about gear. For my mage specifically, I want to be going after the tailoring sets, which require certain cloths. These cloths are incredibly expensive early on because of the tailoring cloth cooldown. While I can get ults to manage this myself, I want to be able to get the tailoring gear very early. On top of this, some of the BOE world drops are incredibly strong. This includes the Charlotte Ivy neck and ring as an example, which is going to be very expensive early on. Therefore, out of our 20,000 gold target, 9,000 of this is accounted for these items, which probably won't get everything straight away, but it's definitely a huge boost. After this, you need to think about gems and enchants. Again, early on these are going to be very expensive, but they will reduce as time goes on. Depending on your class, the cost can change. If you want to get Mongoose fairly early, then it's going to cost a huge sum of gold. For Mage, it's not so bad, but I'm expecting to spend roughly 2,500 gold. So if that's 6,800 gold for flying, 9,000 for gear, 2,500 for gems and enchants, this leaves us with just 1,700 gold for consumables and other expenses like items to increase reputations and stuff like that. So actually, in the scheme of things, 20,000 gold might still be a stretch. It really depends on how quickly the cloth prices come down and what world BOE items will be available cheaper. You'll also notice I didn't budget any gold for leveling up professions, but we'll get into that later on. So in summary, as an absolute minimum, I'd say aim for 2,000 gold. This is going to get your basic flying mount and a bit to play with, and from there you can look to farm more in TBC. But to be honest, the more you can farm now, the better. So yeah, the first thing is gold. Don't sleep on this. You want gold and lots of it. Now, before we move on to the next thing, here is a quick word about Zygor guides. Zygor is considered one of the best leveling add-ons of all time, and that's a well-known thing. So I don't really need to go into it, other than the fact it has the smart injection system, which makes it truly amazing for questing. But what the majority of people don't realize is that Zygor actually offers gold and profession guides as part of the package. Using the gold guide from Zygor is honestly like a cheat code. With the correct trend data, you're able to know exactly when to buy and sell items for the most amount of profit using an easy to follow tooltip. On top of this, you can use the gold guide UI to find the best possible farms for gold per hour. This also integrates with your professions, so you can also find the best deals and flips for your current professions, as well as finding the very best gold farms out in the world, including all the pathing so you know exactly where to go and what to do. Of course, the profession section also shows you exactly how to get maximum professions using the most efficient route. Now, Zygor is a paid add-on, but if you are interested, you can get a free trial of the basic system using the link down below. And Zygor has also hooked us up with a 10% discount code for life using code SEANO. So while technically this is a promotion for Zygor, honestly, as many of you know, Zygor is an add-on that I personally use and always highly recommend. A special thanks to Zygor for hooking us up with the discount code, but yeah, back to the video. The next thing we want to talk about is a pretty obvious one, which is what class you're going to play. Now, I could sit here and break down all the best and worst classes of TBC or make a tier list for easy views, but in reality, I'd say picking a class based on this is a terrible idea, and here's why. While we have a good idea of the meta thanks to the 2007 and 2021 release of the Burning Crusade, we still don't know exactly what changes are going to be made. We've seen in interviews in the past about potential balance changes coming to TBC, and we've also seen them do that in Mists of Pandaria. Therefore, until we know what changes are going to be made, it's hard to say with confidence how the meta will look. However, I will say this: unlike in Classic, every single class is viable, and usually raids will properly look to utilize buffs and debuffs, which means everything is needed. Also, these servers have dual spec this time around, so if you're on the fence about what to play, playing hybrid classes like Paladin or Druid really shine here, as you can effectively play tank, healer or DPS, and swapping between them is a breeze thanks to dual spec. This almost guarantees you'll get a raid spot of some kind because you're a master of all trades. Now, when it comes to ults, remember about the attunements. Unless we get an account-wide attunement change, it's quite an investment to get ults raid ready, so bear that in mind. For things like tailoring ults, these can be level 50 for 1 cloth, or level 60 to specialize and receive 2 cloths. But for alchemy, you will need to be level 68 to specialize for the most amount of primal might. So if you want an alchemist ult, you will have to level them up. Finally, for gathering ults, remember, Druid Epic Flight Form is not available in phase 1, so paladins are the best for gathering thanks to Crusader Aura. But yeah, if you're going to take anything from this section for your main, play what you enjoy the most, not what appears to be best in the meta. Please. The next thing to talk about is professions. You should be planning now what professions you want to take into TBC and start preparing for that. For example, if right now you're a tailor and engineer, but you're planning to be an engineer and enchanter, it would be a good idea to start buying materials now that will get you closer to 375. Since in the Burning Crusade, the materials early on are going to be extremely expensive. In this example, you could buy materials to craft the field repair bot in engineering, as we know you'll always need these repair bots in TBC and your guildmates will love you. So it's worth getting all the materials now and using this recipe so you can level up to 340 with these classic materials alone, which will save you tons of money on TBC materials, and you'll also have repair bots, which is actually useful in TBC as well. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. On top of this, I'd recommend getting materials for enchanting too, but instead of switching to enchanting straight away, pick up and level mining so you can level up in TBC and you can mine TBC materials yourself to help you get maximum level of engineering early on, which is going to save you a ton of gold. And then once at max engineering, you can drop mining in favor of enchanting again. Simple tricks like this will save you tons of time and money. Obviously, this is just one example. The same could be done with alchemists. You'd have herbalism going into TBC, getting all the herbs, and then swap it out once alchemy is max level. Doing this is going to make leveling professions much easier and saves you a ton of gold because TBC materials early on are extremely expensive, trust me. So in summary, look on Wowhead for recipes that give levels with classic materials so you can plan these now, and that way you can level up quicker with using classic materials, and then obviously consider having a gathering profession while leveling, which you can quickly swap out later. Now the final thing I want to talk about is of course a big one, which is gear. And I'll say straight away, you do not need Nax gear to level up in TBC dungeons. Doing this might feel like a good idea, but you'll just hit the lockout way faster. Having basic gear from raids will be more than enough, and you can also buy the rank 14 weapons in pre-patch for honor if you need to get a decent weapon cheap. That said, there are some items that will give you an edge into TBC, which I'll break down in a future video, but some examples for Mage are Mind Quickening Gem, Mark of the Champion, Blade of Eternal Darkness, and the Tier 2 set bonus, all of which will be used in TBC for utility and in special conditions. Not to mention there are items like the Cloak of Necropolis and the Ring of the Fallen God, which are best in slot for Phase 1 of TBC. But like I said, these are just some examples, and in the future I'll break down exactly what you should be looking for. But if you're a fresh character or haven't raided at all in Classic, don't worry too much. Using these items is completely for the min-max top 1% of speedrunners, so for the majority of the player base, it's really not going to matter. So in summary, these are the 4 main things you should be focusing on in preparation for TBC. We will have many more preparation videos coming out over the coming weeks, but if you've enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a member. We have tons of members guides as well as the best gold guides in the member section, which are perks of your membership. Memberships are available for just $1.99 a month, but this is the #1 way you can support my channel. Thank you to all the members who have joined so far. Your support is truly appreciated. Thank you so much. But yeah, TBC hype. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and have a lovely day.